so much for being there. Welcome back. Good morning. This is #Go in the Morning. My good name is Brian Sankwa, and this is the first conversation of the day. So I want you to actually do this. Jump onto our socials and let us know where you're watching us from. And any reactions, any feedback, and contributions to this conversation, I'll definitely see it right over here on my mobile cell phone, right? On the hashtag, which is Why in the Morning. Plus, there's a question of the day we have asked you right over there. We'd like to hear from you as we progress with our conversation. Now, we're about to delve into matters: governance, employment, education, and digital economy, and just so much more that touches on matters the youth when it comes to representation and inclusion. And in this conversation, I'm going to be engaging a panel of two for now. Later on, we'll be joined by another one. Seated immediate next to me is Wazi Maina. She's also a student at the University of Nairobi, and also an incoming, rather, let's just say she's a woman rep aspirant in Murang'a County. She'll tell us more about that as well. Alongside Jacob Odhiambo, he's a lawyer by profession and also a political strategist at the Deputy Governor's Office in Homa Bay. Karibuni sana, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Sana. My name is Wazi Maina. I'm a student at the University of Nairobi. I'm a student pursuing economics and statistics, Deputy Organizing Secretary, Brave Sisters Alliance, and also Section also. I'm a youth activist, and I truly am into youth affairs, and therefore I would say it's a pleasure to have an interaction with me and engage me as we steer our way forward.
Absolutely. Jacob?
Thank you. Like you've said, I'm Jacob Odhiambo, a lawyer by profession, specialized in criminal law. Currently engaging with the issues of the Deputy Governor of Homa Bay in legal aspects, and also political strategies. I've been into politics for now, I think, 12 years, since 2013. I worked for Code Coalition, NASA Coalition, Azimio Coalition, and hopefully 2027 I'll be in a different coalition. But I want to say that I want to invite all our viewers to, be into this conversation. And I also have to advise our young people that there's a mass voter registration that is ongoing. Okay. Let us seize the moment and the opportunity, and let us pick up our voting cards, because that is the only way we can get to express ourselves and to make decisions when it comes to
2027. Ballot revolution, not bullet revolution. I think that featured somewhere during the Genzs protest. Let me start off with you, Maina. What are some of the things that you are spearheading for that should not remain the same? Because if you look at previously what has, I wanted to say something, but yeah. If you look at some of the things, I'd say events that have, for the past, it's a year and a half now, almost clocking 2 years by the end of 2025. If you get into office as a youth woman representative, when you get there, what will you change and where will you start?
Firstly, I would say the biggest or the main problem we're having as youth is lack of empowerment, specifically economic empowerment, that is unemployment. And that is what is resulting to a lot of rebellion and defiance in the system, because the system that we're having is a kind of self-interest, and youth feel like probably they have not been involved in this policy making. And as an aspirant of Women Rep Murang'a County, I would just want to change the narrative. How about we get to support our youths, we get to uphold our youths in the sense that we give them economic empowerment. By the way, there are a lot of chances out here. The problem is who, where, why, and how will you get to know that truly there's a chance. Right. So I have I've worked with several NGOs, and I would say that there are a lot of chances. So I'm also a chief outreach officer in BSA. They conduct a lot of events. Right now, youth is the order of the day. You require something, you engage youth. You require a political rally, you require whatever it is, you'll engage youth. So I would definitely give these people a chance. Right. To. When I give them a chance, that is economic empowerment. They are going to make money. They are going to grow. They are going to come out from that cage of maybe desperation and Yeah.
From what you've just said, it looks like there's, I'd say, a deficit in terms of having a generation of young people who are fully equipped to face life, and more so including spaces rather, mostly that touch on leadership. What will you do to ensure that there are more spaces for young people when you get into office, now that you mentioned this lack of empowerment? Yeah.
Firstly, is championing for the interest of the youth, because youths are the leaders of today. And I believe there are a lot of opportunities. If there are no opportunities, then we create opportunities, because you have the resources, we have the spaces, we have the avenues. Yeah, so in that case, if we actually point out the spheres in which we can engage youth, truly we have it. Because at county level, I would say that an example, I would just want to point out our governor, our very able governor, Kangata. He's very operational and very intentional about transforming the county. He has enforced a lot of policies in Muranga. By the way, if these are there are health facilities that will access in Muranga that are very, maintained and accessible.
Yeah.
Muranga town.
So Muranga is leading in terms of healthcare.
In terms of healthcare, okay. I would say that he has truly tried to check and consider the people that put him in power. A leader is a servant and not a boss. So he has served the people who have employed him as a governor. So, and that is one thing that I feel like I would really check into. Trying to see how can I access opportunities, of which I believe opportunities are there, and that is one thing that is going to spear for our young people economic empowerment.
Yeah, interesting. I'm coming back to you in just a bit so that you tell us maybe what are the obstacles that have been standing in between in these other previous leadership systems. The youth seemingly look like they've been left out, but then what also is the force behind this upsurge of young people wanting to be on the table and be included? Let me come on to you, Jacob. You work at Homa Bay's Deputy Governor's Office. Maybe what would you say are the things that you have successfully, in fact, let me just use the word projects or initiatives that you've successfully implemented and put across that are giving youth equal opportunity, representation, and voices in the governorship, sphere?
Thank you. I think we, from my perspective, I think we're misusing the word, youth. And then again, we also misunderstanding the facts that are on board, practicality of everything that is happening. Number one, we must accept, or we must be alive to the fact that the population is growing. It's not like the yesteryears.
Yeah.
So as the population grows and a lot of the young people are graduating from academic institutions, are getting into the market, and then the factory, the companies, the job creation is a little bit slow, then that you expect that there will be joblessness, a lot of joblessness in within the region. Having said that, we also have to understand that, you see, there are a lot of policies in place. Even in the Constitution, we have 30% youth when it comes to tenders, when it comes to opportunities. There's that provision in the law already. So,
but why is it there no youth there? Also, maybe you can specifically,
like
before you digress,
just
hold your point.
Yes.
Before you digress, I want you to exactly say what you're doing in the Deputy Governor's Office that has given the youth in Homa Bay opportunities.
Number one, the Deputy Governor is not, the Chief Executive, is not the CEO of the county. County governments are headed by governors. And there are policies that, govern an operation within a county government. Like, she comes from Muranga. You can see the governor of Muranga. I've always had a policy in a way that there are almost 1,000 youths somehow that always get training every year and graduates. That transition. So this was made possible through the County Assembly of Muranga. The same thing is not happening even in Nairobi or in Homa Bay. You see, we have leaders who are elected. I think majority of the MCAs in our counties are young people. But you realize that these young people, they are not championing in the first place the interest of their fellow young people. You even mentioned here about the bills that were signed by the president the other day. And I've seen a lot of people, blame the president that, Raila has died and the president is signing cyber bully, bills. What the people are forgetting, I like being honest and being transparent about discussions. We are forgetting that these bills, before the president are sent to them, they were discussed in parliament, where the people elected representatives to represent them in parliament. If these bills are bad, call out your member of parliament. Before you blame the president who signed them, ask your member of parliament, what did you do about this bill? Because this bill, you discussed it in the National Assembly. What did you do about it? Because we have young members of parliament. We have Babu Owino is a youth. We have Ndindi Nyoro is a youth. We have so many young people in parliament. And then we come here and say, you see, youth are not involved. Youth are not even aware of the bills. Why are youth not aware of
Yeah, true. Youth are not aware
Let
of
me
the
tell
bills.
you, my friend. You see, even these people that we call old, like the likes of James Orengo, the likes of Raila Odinga, they were youths at some point. And when you read, the problem with the young people nowadays, we don't want to read. We don't want to have information. We just want to yell around and write funny things on the social media and think that we are going to. Right now, there's mass voter registration. Nobody is taking votes. And then they're telling you, yelling on the social media and saying, we are going to change Kenya. How are you going to change Kenya when you are not going to vote?
Okay.
Because it is only through a vote that you can change Kenya.
Okay.
What I'm saying when I'm, just finishing on this point.
Maybe you can answer the question.
I'm
again.
answering you, please.
What are some of the specific projects that you, in your stint at the Deputy Governor's office,
Deputy Governor does not,
that have included? Yeah.
The office of Deputy Governor does not implement.
No, I'm not asking for implementation. I'm just asking what are some of the projects or initiatives that whatever, it could be from governor to still deputy governor, the same way right here in Nairobi, Governor Sakaja, the same way she says she's come from Murang'a, Governor Irungu Kang'ata. Are there any initiatives that have given youth an opportunity that you'd point out that are working from Homa Bay? That
from
was
Homa
the
Bay.
question.
Yeah, there are initiatives, but I would be honest and say that it's not. There's not much. There's no much initiatives that have been put in place to help the young people, most of from my county, because the governors or the leadership tends to, talk about the border, giving them some money in their circles. That is not directly helping the young people. Mm-hmm. You see, yes, there are young people within the border sector, mm-hmm. but what percentage? Are we together? Or there's these industrial parks that are being brought up by both in partnership with the national government and the county government to try and create job opportunities. To try and create job opportunities. Mm-hmm. That would be a good initiative when the industrial parks are completed and they are operational. But as per now, what I'm saying, we have a collective responsibility as a citizen, as the people of Kenya, mm-hmm. to ensure that as we discuss the matters of the youth, we also become realistic and alive to the facts that the population is surging, but the opportunities that are available are so minimal. So how do we become creative mm-hmm. enough mm-hmm. Within ourselves as young people, right. so that we not only wait for the opportunities that are created for us, okay. but we also create opportunities for ourselves.
Yeah, okay. Point taken. We're also being joined live by Robert Wangoha. He's a President Bunge la Wananchi. He's also an aspirant, member of Parliament aspirant 2027, still in the Sepsem County. Great to have you right here. Our conversation is still centered on youth representation, governance, and digital economy. Literally, some of the pointers that Wazi, Maina, and Jacob Odhiambo are trying to dispense. Still on to you. Maybe because I think this is our third interaction with you, and plus you've done so many other things right here. Maybe if you can pinpoint because the question I had asked is, why is it there's now an upsurge of youth or young people wanting to be included in policy making, decision making, leadership and governance and so much more? You come from Nakuru. What are some of the things that if you get into office in 2027, the moment you hack it, you're beginning to reset immediately you step into office, that for a very long time they've not been taken care of or given much attention, especially when it comes to inclusion of young people?
Okay, thank you so much. And for those who are hearing from me for the first time, my name's Mr. Robert Makoha Wangoho. As you said, I'm the President Bunge la Mwananchi, but also the 2027 Member of Parliament hopeful, Nakuru Town West constituency. Now, for my case, I believe that should I be elected into the office come the year 2027, actually there are a number of issues which I believe that these youth have actually been locked out, and something needs to be done. And of course, there is a very common one in almost all parts of the country or across the 47 counties. That is the issue of unemployment. You realize that the youth are the backbone of any running of a given county government or a national government, because we believe that the youth are the leaders of today in one way or another, because a decision made or the outcome of a given decision is normally based on the participation or inclusion of the youth. But now with the unemployment surging in our counties, and especially the county where I come from, you realize that it is really hard for these young people to fight for their space. Yes, there are special cases whereby we also blame the young people for lack of qualifications and even experience. You see, not all cases, it is not that all the cases they are demeaned in a way or they are locked out, but you realize that some of them may not be fully qualified, or they may be qualified, but again, they lack the experience. Yeah. Now, for my case...
He had mentioned the Cybercrimes Act, Kasema. It was discussed, debated in Parliament. Is it Senate or either of those here?
Yeah.
And it was signed, and when young people saw it, they were like, no, you did not consult us here. So for that part, do you blame the youth for not reading like he said? They don't want to read and get to know what's happening out there, or you blame it on what you've just said?
I don't believe that youth were supposed to be included for the implementation and the signing of the bill. I believe it is Section 27 of the Cyber Crime Act, and whatever that was done was, I think, an amendment. And about that amendment, I see no problem as a young person when there is an enactment of the law or there is an implementation of the law, but to what extent are we implementing, and how is it affecting the youth or the people who are using the social media, for example? One part that made me absurd is the part whereby they consider, imposing a fine of up to 20 million Kenyan shillings. Should you be found to be culpable of committing the crime? But for me, there are also parts.
Yeah. Should it any cause worry to the youth now that there's punishments,
yeah,
there's consequences?
There is
Should
worry.
They be worried?
Actually, it is in good faith, but there is also the worst part. The good faith is that today you are a parent, for example, someone is posting absurd images on the social media, or I'm waking up one morning before I confirm what the law states, I begin abusing a given leader, just like the way the president is being abused maybe in one way. Yet you realize that some of these people who are abusing him maybe, they are just concerned with the payment that they earn from TikTok, from Facebook, now that it is monetized. But in a real sense, this person also wants to protect the young children who are now exposed to the social media.
Okay.
We also want to bar the bad or absurd images from elderly people who are mostly maybe watching that TikTok.
Yeah,
with their
sure. So you'd say
children.
it's a double-edged sword, either
Actually.
way. Yeah. Now back to the question, because I love the way we digress, we explain something and then we come back. So
Yeah.
maybe would you say there are spheres in your county that need to be addressed, and you mentioned unemployment. How will you do that? I understand Nakuru governor is Suzanne Kihika, right?
Yeah.
So maybe if you are to step up and get into office, how will you address the plight of unemployment in Nakuru County?
You know, one way of creating employment or doing away with the unemployment is to end the culture of handouts to these electorates or the young people in the society. You know, when you watch some of the forums that I'm holding with the young people in my constituency, one of the things I'm warning them is that I'm actually advising them to refrain from always fronting their handouts and all that, because at the end of the day, when the person who wants to become a leader or to assume a given position assumes the office finally, this person will concentrate on maybe returning the money that he splashed to these young people. And you know, it may also be so difficult for him to begin creating those employment hubs for the young people not to be idle. From where I come from, for instance, you realize that the area legislature, instead of maybe creating the jobs opportunities, instead of considering the youth, when tendering comes, whereby we believe that, as my colleague mentioned here, they are supposed to enjoy up to 30% for them to be awarded those tenders. You know, the tenders are given to the friends of the area legislature, but these young people who are duped before the election or during the the campaign period are now being bribed up to 500 shillings to go and cause havoc in funerals, in political rallies. You see, that one cannot solve the problem of unemployment. But as a legislature, should I assume that particular office? There are so many ways.
Right.
We can create business hubs. We have seen people utilize properly the 188 millions that they are given in the name of CDF and all that to come up with employment hubs. They can give the roads, the tenders, the classrooms across the constituency. Then these young people are kept busy instead of them going to follow the member of parliament, dishing out money and all that.
Okay.
My friend, I just have one thing to add on.
Yeah,
what
please
you
add on very fast.
And please, you know, when we come here, we also need to inform, or our discussion should also be informative to the electorate and to the people. My brother is going to run for member of parliament. The only thing that a member of parliament can do, a member of parliament have only 3 roles constitutionally: to legislate, to oversight, and to represent. A member of parliament cannot create employment opportunity to the people. The only thing a member of parliament can do is to pass policies in parliament that can enable the national government to create job opportunities for the people.
So would you say that
the employers in this country is either the national government and county government.
So members of parliament are restrained to that?
Yeah, the member of parliament cannot provide employment, apart from the 3 staffs and 4 staffs. Even, do you know that even CDF, it is only that people lack information. Even the CDF, that the members for parliament are patrons, they don't have. It is only that they violate. But if we can strictly follow the law, then a member of parliament does not even have powers to influence who gets that tender and who does not get the tender. Because at the constituency level, we have the funds manager. And the fund manager is an employee of the CDF board here in Nairobi. Yeah? We have a board here in Nairobi that is chaired. So the CDF funds manager at the constituency level is employed by the CDF board and is answerable to the CDF board. Number 2, before any project is implemented within a constituency, there is public participation, Then once the public participation has taken place,
Right.
the resolutions are taken to Nairobi to the CDF board for approval.
Right.
And once the projects have been approved, then they go back to the constituency where now the funds manager and the NGCDF chairman within the constituency now oversee the implementation.
Yeah,
But because we have a country where leaders tend to bully everything and they don't want to follow the law, that is where now you find interferences.
Okay.
So for my brother here,
Yeah.
he will only be able, if he's elected,
Right.
to go into parliament and legislate and pass policies that can be beneficial and can enable or create an environment where the investors can easily invest and create job opportunities. So let us not mislead our people that a member of parliament can employ people. You can't
And I want you to hold your response, Kidogo. I'm coming to you. I want Maina to react to it. She's been silent. Yeah? And the question initially was, why is it right now there's an upsurge of young people just wanting to be included and they want to be a part of the voices that are making decisions? He's mentioned equal opportunities. He's mentioned, about, or employment opportunities not just being restrained to rather, let's say, the leadership up there. Why is it right now there's this upsurge of revolutionaries who want to be, included on board, especially young people specifically?
I think inclusive governance is being speared by young people because a generation benefits or rises when they are in the system. Because apparently the people that we're having in government are maybe past millennials and Gen X. We just have very few. Actually, I don't know. There's no one member of parliament or anyone in the county or national government that I know of is a Gen Z. Gen Z typically meaning 25 and below. Yeah. And therefore, I feel like it's the pressure from the ground, the pressure to make it, the pressure from the parents, the pressure from wherever is the one that is sponsoring this kind of reaction towards the government or the regime that we're having presently. And I think personally, I would just crave to be in the system because I have seen what has been happening, and just like my brother said here, that truly right now an aspirant comes and hands out money or just gives out whatever they have because they want to be voted for. But how about to scrap off the culture of tokenism and we choose to elect members who are up to the task and the ones that are going to serve us, but someone just comes and gives you 1,000 and they expect you to serve. That they have paid you for 5 years. 1,000 I've paid you for 5 years. But because you've given me 1,000, I'll take the money and I'll vote you in. When you get to the system, you pay off what you have spent, right? Yeah. And that is what has continued the toxic culture of governance. But how about we choose to restructure and view it from a different lens and say, truly, we are going to give someone who is really equipped and very fit for this post, and we see if they can. And by the way, we have seen that the reason why youth want to be in the system is because we have seen very many transformative governance from the youth. For example, we have Ibrahim Traore from Burkina Faso. He has done things in that country. He has transformed a lot of things, and he has raised a lot of hope from the people in the country. He has changed the narrative in that country, and truly, he has people are like, he's the African president. Right,
absolutely. When you look at what happened in Nepal, it also spread to Nigeria and plus many other African countries and even global. Even the United States, the youth are on the street, what makes you believe that this is the season and the time for change? Are there any things that have been festering in between that the youth are now standing up against and saying, you know what, I'm stamping my feet on the ground as a youth and I will not allow this to happen again, maybe. In other words, oppressive, factors that still linger that are causing the youth to go on the street each and every time to picket and demonstrate against the leadership at hand. What are some of the things that you've seen evidently?
I think I'll just echo on what I said. The main reason why youth would step out, and actually I was there, And we were there as the students from the University of Nairobi, and you all know there's a culture from the university. They love to showcase. It's because of the pressure that we're having. We are growing up and we are adulting, and adulting is very difficult for us because it's a transition of an age. And it's something that we can't help. It's happening, and we have a lot of responsibilities. But then we don't have anywhere to source empowerment from, and we feel like these are the leaders. These are the ones that truly, as much as they are not going to create opportunities for us, but why can't they empower us? Like, you know, Kenya is a country that has really embraced the culture of interest. They are politics of interest. You choose me or you elect me, and I get to the system, I benefit myself and my family. 5 years ends, I come and lie again, I give you 1,000 for the money that I've looted from the regime. You choose me again, I get there and loot whatever now that I want, because I will not be coming back and go.
Do you believe you'll be different when you become
I definitely believe that I'll be able to change that.
What makes you believe you'll be
I
different
believe that I'll
from
be able
the
to change
rest?
that because I've been from the soil. I know how it feels to be at the bottom, and I know I have had all my friends are my age mates, and we can tell from where we are from right now. It's very difficult to get a chance to grow. It's actually very difficult to get someone who will maybe help you grow, and therefore when I get to the system, it will not be like a point of interest, because by the way, from where I'm coming from, youths will always access me, and I'm this kind of person. I'm very joyous, from sanguine personality and sociable. So I have a lot of people that I would want to grow, just like I have grown myself if they put me in the post.
But that's what a lot of politicians say. I will build for you a fountain that drips milk. You'll come and sip honey here.
I'm not lying.
And once they get into office,
I don't want
lines of communications change.
By the way, I don't want to lie that I'm going to build roads. I'm going to build bridges. I'm going to. I won't lie. I'm telling the truth. There are a lot of opportunities that are there or can be created, and these are the opportunities that are going to fix the youths. Because let me tell you, money is handed out, and the moment money is allocated in these governments, be it county or national governments, there are a lot of things that we can do. How about to become creative, and we choose to empower the young people, as opposed to getting all the money, and that can only happen if we refuse this culture of tokenism. Because if I go and take a loan, like for example 2M or even 3 or whatever amount that I'll take to come by, when I get to the system, what will I do? I have loans to pay back. So what I'll do is I paid you to vote for me. Now when I get to the regime, I go. You can't even access me. You give me a call, I don't respond. And that is the culture that I think that it's time to end the culture.
You believe you're the game changer when you step
into the office? I believe I will be able to change the game.
Absolutely. We'll be right here watching and following it up, and I'll come to you to ask about representation in terms of now gender, if you being there will mean something. You had an interesting reaction to it, and I want you to keep it very brief so that we move on to the next phase of our conversation.
Okay, my concern was drawn when my brother talked about the role of an area legislature, and actually the obvious roles are the ones he mentioned: representation, legislation, and even oversight, right? So I want to make him understand that I didn't mention and clarified that it is the member of parliament who is supposed to create employment for the youth, but actually we were talking about the youth in a general way. That's why, specifically as you asked me, given that I'm a youth and I'm also aspiring, should I assume the office? What different can I do maybe to solve the unemployment? So that is the part that I was trying to explain, to say that actually through the exercising of those 3 roles, there is a way in which you can enact the law, given that you are the lawmaker, to ensure that not even the youth from your constituents alone, because I'm mentioning unemployment where I come from. Another constituency is not facing the same problem where the youth from my constituencies are actually facing. Therefore, through the enactment of the law and sponsoring of the bills to the National Assembly, that is the manner in which maybe the area legislature can also help elevate the youth to get what is rightfully theirs. But as per the way or the manner in which the youth of the country, Kenya, can be included and also be given space. That one runs across from the ward level up to the county. You see, these people, from the governor to the senator to the, they have got their own spaces whereby they can do something which can change around the narrative of the problems that these people are going through as a young generation.
Right. Jacob, when you look at where you work at the Deputy Governor's office, I believe, because somebody had mentioned the Nyota initiative program, which comes again from the national government, are there maybe loopholes in terms of county level, say, profile, that you would say if maybe if the national government would have paid attention and just pumped in more resources, young people would have a lot of, let's say, opportunities, there'll be more development in terms of skill, because also I believe there's an issue of skill gap, because the other day I think I was interviewing a guest who was speaking about there's a competition for opportunities that where professionals, the same people who've graduated in campus are going for, and still people who are still in the workspace are going for. And then there's that thing of this skill gap. Those are not already professionals to go for the opportunity, but still want to be there, and then those that are already there. So maybe if you were to pinpoint.
Thank you,
what
Mapanda.
avenues,
Like she said, and I like the conversation that it's going on, and I like how she's bringing it out. Number one, as a young people, if we want to sort out this problem, this mess that we have, number one, we must ensure that we discern politics of handouts. The moment you will be electing a leader who gives you tokens, then be sure that there will be no development after that election. So we must agree as a nation that if we want to change this country for good, then we must elect a leader for the ideologies and the manifesto that he or she stands for, but not for his pocket. Because when a leader comes to bribe you, then you already know what is going to, he or she is going to do after that election. That is number one, and I like that conversation. We need to keep on with that civic education so that people, because you remember that in the developed world like US, when a presidential candidate or an aspirant is running, actually it is the people who contribute money for his campaigns. And some people even sponsor hotels, venues and everything. So that makes that leader answerable to those people. But the moment you allow a leader to own all the processes and come and give you handouts, then that leader obviously will not work for you.
But also the people who are being given tokens can't even afford 2 meals a day. How will you refuse a 500 bob token if you can't afford 2 meals a day?
You sacrifice it, because like campaign period is only 1 year. Why would you sell your 5 years with just 1,000 bob? Or 2,000.
So should you sleep hungry and sacrifice for 5 years, or take
you
the 500 bob?
I've seen the
have a meal
I've
for a
seen the
day.
TikTok community. They're really doing something that is very nice. I think if a lot of spaces can embrace that, where somebody has a problem and then they come together and then contribute money to. We can always help people. Somebody who is going to sleep hungry, and we are 3 of us.
And the government should actually be doing that.
And the government should
be the one raising money for that person, but instead it's people who are.
No, the government. If the government, you allow the
pockets,
government to raise money for those people, that will be an avenue for stealing again, because they will,
Then what is the work of Nyota?
Yeah?
Nyota program.
Nyota program is a good initiative, I think, for the young people now, because you'd rather have something than not have. And because we have a regime that is, I don't know how to put it, because I never voted for the regime, you see. Now, I don't want to mention what is going on. We will deal with that problem in 2027. But what I was trying to say is, you see, if you say it like you asked me, should the government give more resources to county governments? Yet, it would be an ideal thing. But for now, I will tell you that it is not ideal. Why? Because the MCAs who are supposed to do oversight at the county government, at the county levels, majority of these MCAs are either retirees or are some semi-literate people, leaders who have been elected into county assembly. They don't, like, for example, my home county, I'm now being so practical. In my home county, we have a budget of 12 billion. County government of Homa Bay. That is the money that the county government receives yearly, in every financial year. The chairman of that budget, the person who should discuss the budget in that county assembly, is a Form 4 dropout who got a D minus. How do you expect this person even to understand the budget making process? Yani, you see, the governor already...
But the question is who elected him into office, actually.
That is now the problem. That is now what we are discussing, that the people, as the young people, as the voters, we should vote in somebody who can perform his roles or her roles in whichever position that is elected to, or she's elected to.
Right.
If you're electing an MCA, understand that the work of an MCA is to oversight the county executive. If you elect a Class 8 dropout or a Form 4 leaver who is academic background you cannot trace, then be sure that you are inviting problems to yourself. Because this person will not even be able to question the governor.
Right.
You understand? Number two, so when the national government allocates more resources to county government, then you are giving governors avenues to continue stealing, because we don't have men and women in county assemblies.
So what should happen? What would you propose?
What I would propose is, as we move forward to 2027 general election, as a young people, because we are the majority, and a lot of young people are graduates, let us elect men and women who are competent enough to do these functions within the county government and the national government.
Okay.
Number two, let our voice count. You know, after electing an MCA or an MP, you need to follow up. You have the power. The power belongs to the Article 1 gives the ordinary citizens the power. You can ask your member of parliament. Yesterday I saw a bill that was published that you want to increase term limits. What about what are you saying about it? You can have that conversation with your member of parliament, because you are the person who employed her or him.
But are they even accessible to have that conversation?
You can make them accessible. That the same way we made Ruto to the solve cabinet.
Okay.
So it means we have that power to do that.
So the power belongs to the people.
To the people.
Right. Maybe, and I'd also love you to react on the same and some of the points that he's put across. I think as we move into a generational change and just try to say birth a new renaissance and a crop of fresh leaders that are mostly youthful, maybe should we change the brand of politics and the style of politics that we have in the country, because it affects our leadership? And maybe let me just throw in an example. There was something controversial that was being said on social regarding Baba's death. There's a lot of people who are saying Baba betrayed the Genzs. And there's even an article as well that was written. In fact, it was a newspaper. And at some point, I was trying to just look at some of the, bylines and the description. So maybe now that Baba is gone, I believe this is the second week, this first week, I think, since his absentia, rest in peace, is that going to, give a different tangent or birth a new portal in terms of the way we practice our politics? Because, I believe there's been hate and love in equal measure, where there's people who are like, we betrayed us. In fact, when you read that article and you revisit it, the photos of Kanswa, Ore, and Baba right there. In fact, it was betrayers of Genzs. That was the splash of that newspaper. So what do you make of that? Do you believe the culture is going to change and the mutuetu? Because I strongly believe there's that mutuetu kind of, politics where ni mtuetu, so we're going to give him. Like he said, we should vote in professionals who give access, not mtuetu who is dumb, and then they'll close doors for you, and then you're here going to the streets to picket and demonstrate. What do you make of the same?
I would say that truly, Baba having departed RIP, it's going to change this country in one way or the other. Things are not going to be the same again, because he was the people's president. He was influential. Baba anasema tunafanya. He said we stopped picketing, we stopped. He said we do this, we do. But this time, people are, what I've heard so far from the people at home and from the people in Nairobi, is whatever Uhuru is going to tell us, we're going to listen. Of which, it is the people who have said. But again, I would say that having the problem we're having in this country, or rather in Africa, is having leaders, electing leaders that when they get to the system, they still insist on personal interest. Because the reason why Genzs said that they felt betrayed by Raila is because the moment he said we stop to picket and protest, we stopped. But whatever we were picketing for, did it change? Did it change? Whatever you are, the kind of interest that you are spearheading, did it change, you know? And they feel like truly it did not change, because the reason why Gen Z were picketing is because they wanted inclusivity in the governance. They wanted a governance of mutualism that is going to engage ages across. They wanted accountability from the government. But it turns out that the moment, the kind of conversation they had, everything just ended up like that. And people are just back to the norm of the day. You know, yeah. But basically, I feel like it's time now. It's time now we give new people, we give a new regime to see what, because we have already seen what those are who are in power and what they have done. How about to give new people to see what they can do?
You'd say there was betrayal, in as much as it was not very clear, or it's clear there was betrayal?
I feel like there was betrayal because I feel like there was betrayal, because if truly there was no betrayal, whatever we were championing for would have changed. We would have seen. Practically, people are not fighting. Okay, they were just masquerading. Okay, Ruto must go. But if Ruto went, who will they put in place? There is a lot of confusion, by the way. Oh, okay, Umtata, Kalonzo, oh, Matiang'i, oh, Maraga.
Was there even a young, youthful leader or Gen Z leader, like you said, who would have, you know, stepped into? Also, when you look at 2027 anyways. No,
there was not. The ones that crowned themselves, Akina Samuel Makore and Hanifa, they crowned themselves as the leaders. But I truly desire, I desire the...
Did they crown themselves for the Gen Zs?
Yeah, but who gave them,
on social media?
Who actually gave them the mandate to represent us?
But they went to the streets and put their lives on the line while police were shooting directly
even the ones that crowned themselves, they were fighting for their interests, because when Makore got into the system, a bit into the system, he just kept quiet. So, but I can't blame him. I can't blame him whatsoever.
That's likely to happen to you when you also get into office.
Why? And why would you make such a conclusion and you do not know? I think I'm going to really change the narrative, because when you even look at the track records, I have tried to see if I can empower the ones that are in a space to do so. So I don't. You may not cover up now, because there's one person who has done this. Then definitely all of us are going to conduct ourselves the same way when we get into such spaces. No. I don't think so.
I believe you 1,000%. Do you believe Baba betrayed Gen Z?
I wanted to clarify that. Now that he's dead, I'm one of the among those people who felt disappointed when he made the move. So, as somebody who has worked with him both in 2013, 2017, and 2022, I sought his audience to try and understand, because sometimes we are told that what elders can see, maybe you cannot see it in your perspective. But if you listen to them, maybe you can get a broader view of what they meant. So I thought.
So you reached out?
Yeah, I reached out to him. We met at Serena.
Oh, you met him?
Yeah, okay. I met him at Serena, where he does his gym.
Yeah, what was the conversation?
When we had a conversation, then Baba asked me some 3 questions that I still remember to date. He told me, number 1, you people are saying Ruto must go. Then what? When he goes, what next? Then I said, but the deputy president is going to take over. Then he told me, is the deputy president different from him? Then I didn't have an answer, because truly, I didn't have an answer. They were a pair, and what was happening as a pair. So I said, when he asked me that question, I didn't have an answer. Then he asked me again, do you know how Somali got to where they are today? Then I told him, Baba, I just understand that there has been civil war in Somalia and there's nothing happened. He asked me again, do you remember when Adama Traore got into power in Burkina Faso? And I told him, yes, I remember. What did they say when he was getting to power? That he was going to take over interim, then in 2 years he was going to organize an election. Has he organized that election? At Baba. What did he give us reason? That he said he needs another 3 years to organize the electoral commission and then organize the election. Then Baba told me, listen, you know very well that we were in Azimio, you see, and we wanted to get to government. But the election went the way it went, and we are challenged the elections in court, and the court made their ruling. We did not agree with the ruling, but we accepted. Why? He even asked me, why do you think I always accept a ruling even when I don't agree with them? Then I told him, I don't know. Then he said, I was detained without trial for 9 good years. Not because of something personal, but because I wanted to bring this democratic space and these reforms in this country. Baba told me that the reason as to why he made that decision to support President Ruto, he realized that if the process of our actions went through, number one, Ruto was going to leave power. It is either Gachagua was going to be in power, and if Gachagua got into power and he did not do what we, the young people, expect, we were also going to send him away. And when we sent him away, then it means the military was going to take over.
Okay.
What was going to happen to all the struggles that the people who came before us had done?
So the question is, was there betrayal?
There was no betrayal as per that explanation of Baba, because Baba said, we have a chance to change a government, but we can only do that through a democratic process in an election.
So according
and
to
what
you,
does the
Genzs were
Constitution
not
say?
betrayed by Baba.
The Constitution says that elections are held after every 5 years.
So Genzs were not betrayed.
Genzs were not betrayed. What Baba did was just to try to ensure that the country is stable, under bad leadership or what, but the country is stable until 2027, when we now have the opportunity now to decide the next course
so
of
where
action.
did the betrayal conversation come from?
The betrayal conversation
Maybe
came
let me get Robert to answer that, since you've explained a little bit.
Okay, thank you so much for the opportunity. I believe Baba betrayed the Genzs because I can liken the situation to a case whereby we have a lion that is carrying its prey on the mouth. Then the cheetah comes from the other direction, then says, why don't you put it down, because it may cause problems to you. We can put it down first, we negotiate the way forward in which we are going to consume this. Then after the lion puts the prey or the bone down, this cheetah vanishes with the same. You see, whatever that Baba did, even me, I was convinced. Baba joined the war that had already been won, 90%. These young people had lost their lives. These young people, Raila was waiting to command the young generation to come out in large numbers, as he has been doing for the rest of the years. But these people surprised them. Immediately they demanded that the financial bill of the year 2024 be thrown away, and the government has stated. They came out, they took over the streets, they started destroying properties worth billions of shillings. Then even the president himself had to panic. You saw him coming out to make a presser. After making that presser, it is when now Raila Amolo Odinga realized that things are not as usual. So he tried to coerce these young people to understand, to give reasons, some of which my brother here is saying that, Gachagua is a tribal man. But in a real sense, when he joined, if at all he was not to betray these young people, then how many positions were the young people given? Joho is not a young person. Opio Andai is not a young person. The big positions, the CSS positions that were given, I believe, even if not me or him, there are Kenyan youth whom in their own capacity had the qualifications and the experience. Because amongst the people who are given those posts, I remember there is this man by the name Mreithi, John Mreithi, who was given the docket for fisheries and water. So that one was a young man. Why will Baba not consider giving us at least 5 positions? And yet we had lost our comrades in cold blood. So to me, he betrayed them. Furthermore, he also said that once we go into a broad-based government with the sitting president, we are going to change the manner in which a number of things are normally conducted. So for me, I was happy because initially President Ruto had actually brought the Azimio MPs to the National Assembly. So it had become hard for Baba's members of parliament to make or to prevent the passing of draconian bills in the National Assembly. But you see, after joining him, bad bills continued to reign in the National Assembly. Now tell me, if the funding model for our students in the universities has not changed even today as we speak, why was Baba into broad-based government? If the lecturers are still demonstrating in the name of their salaries have not been paid, why was Baba in Ruto's government? So that one was a daylight betrayal.
So for you, you'd agree?
Point of correction. Number one, and that is
I
why
wanted
I said,
to come on to minor.
To her. Point of
we are
correction.
closing
I
the
know,
conversation.
I don't want us to
okay,
to
so
lie to our viewers.
Sema.
Number one, the funding model was capped, and she can confirm that the government reverted back to the old model system of funding. That is what is happening. So if it is a lie to say
Can you confirm
that the
to us
yeah,
that
I can
indeed?
confirm because I can confirm she's a student. The funding model, we are back to the government is using the old funding model. The cluster 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 was capped. That is number one. Number two, Baba, Fikirini Jacobs is a young person. Actually, we were in MDD with Fikirini Jacobs. He's a PS. He was appointed when Baba joined President Ruto. Dr. Dr. Luga is a young person, the PS for health. So to be here and say that there were no young people that were... So the problem with the young people is, you feel that it is you who is young and nobody else is young.
My brother, who is the PS for health? Is the PS for health not Madam Karanja?
No, PS for Dr. Luga is PS for health. You don't know that. Google, get the information.
Where is Kazmal Makori?
PS Sport is a young person.
But how many of them are considered?
I think you had mentioned Hanifa and Kazmal Makori and many others who were on the front line of the Gen Z. Actually, I want you to give your parting shot. We are actually eating time for the next segment, so we'll camp this conversation to part 1 and maybe we can have a part 2 because I love the direction it's taking. So maybe your last sentiments, what are you looking forward to in terms of the youth being in places where they're able to fully represent themselves, especially when it comes to the leadership that we have right now in the country? Maybe from your personal point of view, what are some of the things projects that you're working on ground that are going to get you there as well personally? Maybe just in 30 seconds, stuff for that, because we're eating time for the next segment.
Okay. Personally, I'm a student, and by the time I first have to get my degree first, and by the time that I want to get to the system, I want to get to the system with a degree. And I really want to get to the system when I truly understand the game, when I truly know what I don't want to get to the system just for the titles, and then I get the names, and then I go home, I make no impact. I just want to, I feel like we as young people want to get to the system because we feel like hawa wengine wamemaliza kazi watoke kiwanja, sisi we take over the kiwanja. We have seen what they have done and they have not impacted us. And in fact, by the way, even the most corrupt whoever elective has to empower someone. Be it a family matter, be it a societal matter, but wanasaidianga watu. And that is why I feel like myself, when I get there, of course I'll empower people, but I want to know, how about I listen to the young people and I understand the challenges. I'm not getting there because I want to benefit or some. Of course, I want to benefit, but I don't want to benefit alone. I want us to get to the top. I want us to get to the top collectively, to the top. And that is why I feel like I really want to get to the system so that I'm able to empower young people. And by the way, me, I don't have the money. If I get to the floor and people think that no, I'll come handing out money, that is a lie. That is a lie.
But you believe young people will vote for you? Yeah, they will vote for you.
I've been holding webinars like almost every day from different higher learning institutions in Muranga. We have Kiharu, we have Muranga University, we have Kandara, we have a lot of universities, and they are saying that they are going to clear everyone who has been in the system, because you can't tell me someone from an MCA that has done nothing in their ward, they want to get into the county. They bring they have finished to destroy the country from ward level. They want to destroy it from the county level.
Okay.
We are refusing that kind of. We are not buying that kind of an idea. We want to put people who are new in the system so that, you know, when a new person gets to the system, they are either good or bad.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
But you already know that whoever is there is bad. So how about to give a chance to see if they are good? You get what I'm saying?
I get you.
Yeah.
I get you.
So practically, I want to empower the young people, and if they actually put me into the system, I'll truly be loyal to them.
Yeah, absolutely. Amen.
Two things
30
for
seconds.
our viewers as a finish. Number one, I want to encourage the young people. Let us continue with the civic education and let us discern the politics of tokenism. And handouts. Let us look at an individual aspirant based on ideology and what he stands for. And lastly, for the young people, let us take this opportunity to register as voters and let us have our voting card. That is the only way we can define and redefine this nation come 2027 when we're doing elections.
Robert, thank you.
Okay, for me, I'll tackle whatever that we just discussed here, that for us to end the culture of tokenism amongst our people, it is the government's responsibility to ensure that whatever kind of taxation that it is actually imposing on Kenyans is reasonable, so that we also have a business hub that is growing, to ensure that there is what we call demand and supply in equal measures, so that as they try to tax, they tax an economy which has actually grown. That is when people will have monies in their pockets and they'll not yearn to get tokens from the leaders. And finally, also as a government, we need to encourage the people, or as young leaders, we need to encourage the electors also to turn out in large numbers so that they can actually register when this window is still open, because we are yapping and saying that the regime is bad, but unfortunately, no efforts are being shown. When you go to these polling stations and the IBC offices across the country, you realize that there is still a very low registration turnout from the people. So by so doing, I believe, in my own personal opinion, that if we register and turn out to vote and make the right choice, then we are going to transform our country, Kenya.
Okay,
Absolutely.
one point.
Yeah.
As a wind
in my
down.
mind, I was like, baby girl, have you forgotten something?
Yeah,
Say it
thank
very
you.
fast.
Thank you,
Yeah.
Sana. The idea of empowerment, you asked me about how am I going to
empower representation, gender.
I would say, as gender, thank you. I would say that as much as feminism is just like, oh, a man cannot cry and a woman should be in the kitchen and stuff. Feminism is championing for equal rights. It is okay for a man to cry. It is okay for a man to be in the kitchen. It is okay for a woman to lead, you know. And I feel like, as much as we are so much focusing on girls, boys really have a lot of problems. Boy child, let me tell you, as much as, yes, girls too are susceptible to this kind of maybe health-wise and lack of
Even
maybe comprehensive sexual education.
Education at large.
Yeah. So basically, youths are having a problem, and because we are discussing youth affairs, we are not discussing youth affairs politically, but also health-wise, but also socially, whatever, from whatever lens it will be. And boys.
So what will you do about it for the boy child now that you're passionate about it?
For the boy child, I
5
think
seconds.
I think boys are really productive in terms of like technical skills.
Okay.
So if you find there's a construction, there's a government project for this, why don't you bring out the boys? Why will you come and maybe have machine as laborers?
So meaning you would be their
yeah,
voice.
but again, for the girls, the reason why, by the way, a lot of organization focuses on the girls is because girls are more likely to be harmed by the just the system, man.
Okay.
Like, yeah, in terms of maybe
they're vulnerable.
safe abortion,
Yeah,
they are vulnerable.
right, yeah,
Safe
I get
abortion, and also not being able to articulate themselves in spaces. Not
Where
being,
men
yeah.
are fully dominant.
Yeah, but
Okay.
truly, men,
So-
both boys and girls deserve to be empowered.
Sawa, thank you. Hope if you had an initiative ungeisema tu tukiendanga because we are out. Do you have an initiative that's empowering the boy child, or you have in place that will be coming up?
Of course, I liaise with a lot of NGOs that I know of, and that I know that they are giving out chances to the young people, and kindly, those people who are watching me from Murang'a or wherever, I know most people know me because I was number 2 in my KCPE in the county.
Okay.
So I know I am very fit and I'm very capable of getting into this space and air out our opinion, articulate our views, and
do you have a
kindly
social media
register
platform?
voters.
Do you have a social media platform where they can interact with you?
Yes, they can. In my Instagram account,
Sema moja tafadhali.
Starry Stalia.
Okay, yours, LinkedIn. Unajua ni lawyer, so huwezi kuwa active sana, but you could be a lawyer on social media too. And you're active.
Jacob Omondi Odhiambo, just
on all social. Robert?
Just like the way you mentioned it, Robert Makoha Wangoho, that's
Absolutely.
where people can get.
So, I've been speaking to Wanzi Maina. She's an woman representative, aspirant in Murang'a County, incoming so soon, alongside Robert Wangoho, President Bunge la Wananchi as well, Nakuru, MP aspirant 2027, Jacob Odhiambo. He's a political strategist and he works at the Deputy Governor's office in Homa Bay. Thank you, and remember, the sentiments shared in this conversation, I'm reminded to say, do not represent those of Y254, KBC, or me, Brian Sako, but solely for our guests right here. So please feel free to share your sentiments and what you picked from the conversation. We take a break, and when we come back, we'll be speaking to Clayford Wafula. He's a content creator. He'll be telling us what exactly it entails to be a content curator, the fame that comes with you being visible, and some of the brands that could possibly be working with you when you get famous, that and much more on the hashtag Why in the Morning. See you on the other side in just a bit.